Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Jolie Atwood with the community calendar, and Liz Gillespie with sports. Thank you for joining us. The downward trend of new cases of COVID-19 in Burlington continues, though the town has yet to enter the green level. According to the Mass DPH, latest report dated February 25th, Burlington's percent positivity rate is 2.7, and the town's average daily incident rate per 100,000 people is 17.7. The previous report from February 18 had Burlington's positivity rate at 3.95 and the town's average daily incident rate at 19.5, although it's hard to imagine half a person having COVID-19. According to DPH, in order for a community to move into the green, it would have to have an average daily incident rate per 100,000 and less than 10 total cases. Locally, Bedford, Billerica, Wilmington, and Woburn are also in the yellow. Lexington is the first to get into the green. Despite falling numbers, health officials still advise everyone to follow the guidelines of wearing masks in public, maintaining social distancing, and frequent hand washing. The various snowstorms in the area that hits the area has prompted an increase in the town budget. The Board of Selectmen voted to raise the line item for snow and ice removal at the recommendation of DPW Director John Sanchez. This is the only line item that towns can spend first and approve an increase at a later date due to the nature of storm responses, which can't always obviously be guessed at. Sanchez said the budget was initially $350,000 and he recommended it be increased by $500,000 for a new total of $850,000. Sanchez said that on average it costs the town $12,000 for every inch of snow that falls. He added that so far this year they have had 14 snow events, 4 of which required the use of contractors to help clear the roads and sidewalks. During the biggest snowfall of the year, the town had 50 contractors and 30 in-house pieces of equipment out on the roads. Members of the board voted to increase the snow and ice budget, but they said that they hoped it wouldn't have to all be spent. Ways and Means also approved that expenditure. We now know, no, we don't. We know that a Burlington-based company has been praised for a system it created and put to use in West Virginia that helps with scheduling vaccinations for residents. You'll appreciate this if you've been on the site locally here and tried 50 times to get your appointment. BNews Director Rich Hosford spoke with a representative of the company, Everbridge, and files this report.
We have partnered with a company called Everbridge. This company helps states notify their citizens when there is a fire, a flood, or a hurricane. But now they are going to help us coordinate vaccines as we can get them from the federal government. We will be the first state to turn on this new vaccine scheduling system. This system gives you the ability to put your information in directly and helps us coordinate when vaccines are available to notify you when and where to come to get your vaccine.
As officials across the country struggle to get the COVID-19 vaccine into the arms of residents, one Burlington-based company has been working with at least one state to make their rollout more efficient. Everbridge, located here on Corporate Drive, has been working with the state of West Virginia to ensure the distribution of the vaccine is done quickly and without waste. They have set up an alert system that allows residents to know when doses are available and to sign up on the spot. I spoke to a representative of the company about how this works.
When West Virginia contacted us, their challenge at that point really was around a call center. The only capability that they had at that point to register citizens was to call into a call center, and that was a challenge. Folks were getting busy signals for days upon end. And then when you introduce a website portal, which was built to be able to handle significant traffic without crashing, without having any slowdowns or any other problems, residents were now able to go to a platform who are capable of registering online, and reduce the impact on that call center. So as you see the shift of people contacting a call center and now moving over to a web registration portal, the call center becomes, more of the secondary focus, where the website becomes the primary focus. What that affords them is the people who physically don't have a way to register on a website can continue to call the call center but the odds of them getting a busy signal have significantly decreased. And that was the immediate impact felt in West Virginia.
Everbridge was formed after the attacks of 9/11/2001, when it became clear there was a need for better communication during emergency situations. They coined the term critical event management and built a communication system to respond to situations like hazardous weather, an active shooter, or a terrorist attack, or even a pandemic. That situated them to be ready to offer this service when COVID hit.
Now, COVID came along last year, and we looked at how our platform is being used to notify people of the ever-changing requirements that happen around COVID. First, starting out with, staying at home and washing your hands and wearing a mask, to morphing now to vaccine distribution. As we saw being rolled out across the country, people were struggling to, number one, understand where they could get vaccinated. We saw surveys and polls that showed 60% of residents didn't even know how to sign up or where to go to get vaccinated. These were challenges that are a critical event. So what better than to use our critical event management platform to help solve these challenges and these pains for both government agencies, corporations, and eventually provide a nice resident experience where there's a one-stop sign up for a vaccine. When that vaccine becomes available, you're notified of the availability. The resident has the ability to accept that, the ability to decline and be rescheduled for another time, or to opt out altogether if they found a vaccine somewhere else or they were vaccinated through another method.
Finally, I asked about the possibility of them bringing the services they provide in West Virginia to their home state of Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is a great customer of ours. I mean, they've been using our platform for a couple of years now. The Alerts MA platform is out there. They send out those messages every couple of weeks across the state. They do daily announcements on the keyword of when Governor Baker is going to hold his next press conference. So for us, it's great to continue that partnership and work with them. We've had some fantastic conversations. Their team is hard at work trying to make sure the residents of Massachusetts are well taken care of. So anytime we can help out, especially our home state, we're more than happy to work with them. So at this point, we're still continuing to communicate with them, and we'll see if we can provide any assistance in the future.
From Everbridge on Corporate Drive, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
We now know who is running for office in Burlington's 2021 town election. The deadline to file nomination paperwork with the town clerk's office was last Friday, so unless someone drops out, this is the list of candidates voters will have to choose from in April. There are 3 townwide contested races. Town Clerk Amy Warfield, who is finishing at 2 5-year terms, is being challenged by Joseph Welch. The race for the 2 open seats on the Board of Selectmen is also contested. Incumbents Mike Runyon and Joe Morandi have been joined in the race by challenger and town meeting member Sherry Ellis. The 3rd contested race is for the one-year seat on the Shawshene Tech School Committee. Newcomers Michael Kelly and Christine Kim both returned papers and will compete for the seat. That's actually a 3-year seat. Other townwide offices, including the seats held by Town Moderator Bill Byer and school committee members Martha Simon, are not contested. In the races for town meeting, there are competitive races for 3-year terms in Precinct 3 and Precinct 5. There's also a competitive race for a 1-year term in Precinct 4. You can find a full list of candidates on our website at bcattv.org. The Burlington town election will be held on Saturday, April 10th. The polls will be held in the Burlington High School Gymnasium and will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If enough snow falls to warrant a school closing, Burlington students will not be learning remotely. Superintendent Conti said at Tuesday's school committee meeting that after hearing from parents, in particular from parents of special education students, he has decided that any additional closings this year will be traditional snow days and not remote learning sessions. Any snow days will be added to the end of the school year in June. The issue came up 2 weeks ago at a previous committee meeting when a representative of Burlington's Special Education Parent Advisory Council raised concerns about the quality of education for special education students when classes are remote. She said that because snow days are unplanned, parents have very little time to make a plan, an issue made more acute when working with a special education student. She also said the lack of teacher aides and other support on remote learning days also means a less impactful educational experience. Superintendent Conti also spoke about the decision during this month's superintendent update. Here he is on that subject.
hopefully the conversation stands that it's moot because it's spring.
We get no more snow days.
So, but I'm saying, if not, I think what I essentially said last night is if we do need another snow day, it'll be a traditional, snow day, which means we won't have school and we'll add that day on at the end of the year. Whether that practice is remote learning is allowed moving forward is really a state decision. They had not allowed it for some of the same reasons that were presented locally at the state level. And if they stick to that, then it won't be an option moving forward. I think it's a harder decision because it's hard to say remote instruction isn't valid when there have been a lot of students in Massachusetts educated remotely. The equity question is a completely different question. Certainly needs to be considered, and the needs of all of our students, including our children with disabilities, has to be included in that conversation.
A new robot has made its way to Burlington High School to interact with students at the help desk. BNEWS reporter John Villas went to check it out and has this look.
Hello, I'm Pepper. My internet address is 10.2.192.242. Hello.
There's a brand new staff member at Burlington Public Schools, and she's just the droid they've been looking for. Meet Pepper, the world's first personal robot that can read and feel emotions. BNews caught up with help desk instructor and IT specialist Leroy Wong to learn more about the story of Pepper.
One of the ways that Pepper can be useful is kind of like as a greeter, like in a store. So I guess when the Microsoft store in Burlington had been in existence or open, I think that's one of the first places I'd seen Pepper. Pepper was a robot that was there and could sort of answer basic questions for people, could display like useful information on her screen.
Pepper was developed by Tokyo's multinational conglomerate holding company SoftBank Group Corporation and first went on sale in Japan in 2015. Since then, she's made her way to Microsoft stores across the U.S. and into the BHS help desk, where she interacts with students and faculty.
Another use of Pepper is to essentially, for like an educational institution, to learn about how Pepper can be programmed and just used in whatever educational or computer science instructional way. What day is it today?
Today is Thursday, February the 25th.
So anyway, those are just different examples of things that you can sort of ask Pepper and have her answer. So right now, the vocabulary that Pepper has is kind of basic as far as like the basic functionality. But over time, as the students learn to program Pepper and I learn more about her, we'll be able to do more things. What time is it?
It is 14:55.
Choreograph is the software used to bring the friendly robot to life. Mr. Wong demonstrates the state-of-the-art technology that gives Pepper the human ability to move, speak, and respond to her peers.
Actually, as far as the app that I have installed, I can obviously drive Pepper around. I can have Pepper do different things like raise an arm or move Pepper's head around. I can type in things that Pepper can say, and then I can also like display things on Pepper's tablet. So I think those are some of the things I can do. And and also Pepper does have cameras. So basically a tablet camera and then like one that's kind of like in the forehead area. So then I can also like capture footage. And I think even record sound, because obviously Pepper is hearing things I'm saying and responding.
She's also fluent in other spoken languages, such as Spanish.
Hola. Lo siento, por el momento no puedo.
There we go.
Mr. Wong hopes that Pepper will serve as an ideal teaching tool and friend for the students of BHS.
So for the kids to learn about robotics and about programming and I guess artificial intelligence, I think would be, one benefit. And, over time, maybe Pepper could sort of be like maybe like a greeter to the help desk, or if like other classes want to learn about robotics and just things that you can do with robots. So I think that's part of the purpose of us getting Pepper.
From the help desk at Burlington High School, this is John Villas for BNews Weekly.
Back to you in the studio.
The Board of Selectmen had high praise for Town Administrator Paul Sagarino while detailing the results of a recent job performance evaluation during Monday night's meeting. Town Accountant and Assistant Town Administrator John Denizio explained that the town had worked with town council to create the process of the evaluation. He said they came up with 10 categories with 4 to 6 measurements in each category. In January, members of the board made their evaluations with a point scale of 1 to 4, with 1 being unsatisfactory and 4 being exceeds expectations. There was also space for comments in each category and overall assessment at the end of the evaluation. The categories included community leadership, financial management, planning, and organization, among others. Members of the board were very positive in their comments about Sagarino's performance. Chairman Morandi pointed out that when he averaged the lowest rating on any category, 3.2, and member Bob Hogan said that if all the scores were averaged across categories, it would be 3.8 or 3.9. Here is Chairman Morandi.
Well, let me tell you something. I, as an individual resident, not as chairman of the Board of Selectmen, I realize every day what you do for this town, and it's incredible. You've gone through this pandemic, which we've all said. We've all said that one word, pandemic. It's before that. I've known you for the last 6 years. And for the last 6 years, you have done above and beyond what we expect of our people. The group you put together, Paul Sagarino, John Denizio, Gary Giannino, there's something about that group that just blends together and does very well. So let me just say this. Thank you as chairman of the Board of Selectmen and as a resident for what you've done for this town.
These local commerce revolutionaries are taking business networking to another level. Craft Food Halls, Lexington location, Revolution Hall, the Business Collaborative, the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, and the Bedford Chamber of Commerce have joined forces to create a new way to look at doing business. Let's check it out.
A modern revolution of professionals are creating a contemporary networking group, calling themselves the Revolutionaries, and assembling at Revolution Hall.
What we're trying to do is put together a new group of professionals that act as revolutionaries in the pandemic.
Part of being here in this amenity is really supporting the regional effort. You know, Burlington, Bedford, Lexington.
And we're looking to do something a little different, organize a group of people who want to upset the status quo, think outside the box, be trailblazers, along with the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, the Bedford Chamber of Commerce, and Craft Food Halls.
It's significant simply because we want everyone to come together and really start experiencing what it means again to come back to this new normal. It's exploratory for us because we want to find out how many people are really wanting to engage and move forward in communicating and networking through different events.
And it's a little challenging because we're going to do it simultaneous on Zoom and then have some people here in person because a lot of people like this space.
This place is extraordinary. I mean, we have 22-foot ceilings and 20-foot garage doors. We have 3 different type of culinary adventures. We have a vegetarian concept called Vessel. We have Project X, which is a street pizza concept. And we have Sous Videry, which is essentially your entrees on steroids. It's absolutely amazing.
We are doing a Q&A, introducing the Executive Director for Lexington Chamber and the Executive Director for the Bedford Chamber of Commerce. And they're going to do a Q&A with Gardy.
We wanted to host something that was really up and coming for this area, bringing together all the different communities, giving them an opportunity to interact with each other and really networking on a higher level. Again, exploratory, so that means we're going to go out and do some kind of expeditions and bring people together in different types of areas. So whether it's in Bedford or Arlington, we're able to really enjoy each other's presence in different platforms.
In terms of life science and new amenities and kind of rethinking the suburbs, I think this is a great example.
We joined something called the Chamber Hub. It's a new organization in Massachusetts, and they support chambers. So along with the things that we do, which is advocacy, networking, connections, they help with marketing services, and they also help with some media services. So now we have a full package that we can offer. So we piloted that in Bedford this year. So far, it's been working great. We have about a 15% uptick when members use that service versus not. So we're going to roll it out into Concord, and then we're going to bring it over here to Lexington.
Also, it's great to be here because RJ Kelly, they are commercial real estate owners not only in Lexington, but Burlington and Bedford. So when you're thinking of things, it's better to think kind of regionally and how we all can work together.
And once this gets moving, we're hoping this group provides chambers and government and Rotary, as well as some of the larger and small businesses, with innovative ideas and a way to change the way that we conduct business today. So we're very excited about it.
There's a new group of people that really care and they're passionate about a different way of doing things and a different way of gathering. Every one of our meetings is going to be connected to some sort of activity. So next time we're going to be doing a beer lesson with a tasting. The next month we're going to do a financial program on lending, saving, managing money. A month after we're actually going to have an outdoor workout that's done by somebody on our planning committee. So it's not just networking and it's not just education, it's a variety of things.
We're all working together, we're all neighbors, and in a big metro scheme of things, what's good for Lexington, what's good for Burlington is really good for all of us.
United we stand in our new revolution of financial wellness. From Revolution Hall in Lexington, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Flags across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts were lowered to half-staff on Monday as the country hit a grim milestone in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. A notice from Burlington Veteran Services from Monday says, "Please be advised that in respect for and memory of the more than 500,000 Americans lost during the pandemic, in accordance with the presidential proclamation, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has ordered that the United States of America flag and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts flag be flown at half-staff at all state buildings beginning immediately until sunset on Friday, February 26, 2021. The order applies to the main or administration buildings of each public institution of the state, town and city halls, other state-owned or controlled buildings, and all military institutions." The winter sports season has come to a close, and one Red Devils team finished it out with a perfect record. For that, we go now to BNews sports reporter Liz Gillespie for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Gillespie for your weekly sports report. The winter season has officially wrapped up at Burlington High School, and we have a couple updates. The Burlington Red Devil hockey team went to the semifinal round of the Middlesex League tournament and traveled to Winchester on Thursday, February 18th. Burlington lost by 3 points in the 4-1 defeat. Departing seniors are Brian Murray, Nolan Kelleher, Ray Magliozzi, Brian O'Neill, Jack Jay, Dalton McKinnon, Colin Brown, Joe Tribuco, and Sean Malone. Good luck to the seniors in the future and the rest of the team in the offseason. The BHS girls varsity basketball has accomplished something big this season, a Middlesex League title, and completed an undefeated season. For more on that, we go to BNews sports reporter Robert Paris.
Wicks, and he went for three, is short, and the Burlington Red Devils have won the Middlesex Championship.
Oh man! What a way to close out a season. The Burlington High School girls varsity basketball team has won the Middlesex League Championship and, on top of that, finished the year at 13-0.
That is the seniors championship. This group came in as freshmen. They knew what they were capable of. They have stuck it out for 4 years, and they did their job to have those kids and have all 4 of my 3 or 4 year seniors on the floor in those final minutes to get the job done. That's the way it should be. Seniors carry you, and that's what they did this season.
A couple of the graduating seniors couldn't be prouder of this accomplishment.
We came together and we played this entire season as an entire team. We went 13-0 to end the season, and my goal coming into the season was to win the league, and we did. So all my goals were accomplished and more because of this opportunity to have playoff games at the end of the season.
I mean, every game was a grind. It was a good game every game, and we came to play, and our defense really, pushed the whole season. Once we did what we do on defense, transitioned to offense, that's how we got up.
As the pandemic continues, the coaching staff and athletes were unsure if they were going to have a season.
This whole season, just because of all the uncertainty and everything that was going on, we definitely knew before the season that we wanted to go undefeated in our division. That was before we knew that we would get the opportunity to have a tournament. And then when that came, it's just, of course you want to win, right? But for me, it was never talking about those things. I tend to be very superstitious. So I kind of stayed away from that and just tried to always talk about the task at hand, the moment, this game, this possession. What are we doing? What do we need to do better? And they stayed level-headed this whole time. And honestly, that's why they were able to pull it off, because they were able to push that pressure and those emotions aside and just play basketball.
This is the first time the team has won the Middlesex League title since the 1995-1996 season.
Yeah, I feel like they're very aware that I played for this program. Last year, when we went 15-5, that was our best record since my junior year when I played. And they're very conscientious of that. You could see that, they want this for themselves, but they very much want for me to have that goal as well. And I appreciate that they care enough to be a part of this program and want this program to return to what it was. Just you come back, it's a labor of love. It's been a tough 11 years of kind of up and down and getting back into being consistently competitive. So to have a senior class really buy in and be able to get that job done and return us to a place where we haven't been since the late 90s is phenomenal for them.
With the team now in its off season, a number of seniors will be departing from BHS this June.
I mean, playing basketball and just how we are, like in practice and just as a team, we're all very close and like my sisters, and we just always have fun even when it's like a tough practice.
I'm just gonna miss having a family. Everyone wanted the same thing this year, and we all just strive for the same thing. And Coach, she just has been a mentor for me since my freshman year, just through school, practice, literally everything.
What made this group so great is really just how much they cared about each other. Not one selfish kid in the bunch. They wanted to play for each other. They wanted to be in it together. They wanted to have this undefeated season so that they could look at each other and say, we did it. And our seniors are what made us win, not just because of that talent, but because they were so willing to be a part of this team and to do what the team needed them to do, whether or not that was something they necessarily wanted to do.
Congratulations on a remarkable season. From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Don't forget to check out the BNews Sports Twitter page. And for more sports, go to bcattv.org under the Sports Hub page. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Liz Gillespie. Back to you guys in the studio.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for the latest forecast for the week ahead. We'll also check out the community calendar with Jolie Atwood to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with the look at your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are rounding out February and heading into the first week of March. And March 1st actually denotes the first day of meteorological spring. So this is when we start to see the atmosphere taking on a more spring-like pattern. So those winter winds that we'll be having don't have quite the bite that they had back in January. But of course, looking out your window, the ground is still covered in snow and we could still have some pretty big snowstorms as we head into March and even into April. But nonetheless, spring is on its way. Now, starting out our period on Friday, our temperatures at this time of the year should be in the low 40s, and it's going to be about 10 degrees below average. As we head into Friday, temperatures only in the low 30s and way down in the low teens if you have to be out and about in the Burlington area Friday night into Saturday. As we round out our period getting into the Thursday time frame, average highs should be around 43 or 44 at this time of the year, and unfortunately we're going to be about 6 to 7 degrees cooler than that, so the cold air in winter is definitely staying strong with us. But of course, as you notice, our days keep getting longer and longer, so that is a sure sign that we are marching towards spring. Now as we go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation here in the Burlington area. Now starting out with our temperature map, they're calling for us to have at or slightly above average temperatures in the Burlington area and most of New England, and actually in fact most of the eastern third of the nation. I'm not too sure about that coming to fruition. I think we might have a couple of days, Sunday and Monday especially, where our temperatures might be fairly pleasant out there in the mid-40s, but after that it looks like it's going to cool on back down to more mid and early February-like temperatures with highs only in the mid-30s. And of course, going ahead and taking a look at our precipitation chances, again, they're calling for us to have an above-average precipitation week, but don't take too much of stock in this map because it looks like this is going to mostly come in the form of rain, especially as we get into the Saturday time frame. And we may have a couple of very light mixed rain and snow events as we go into the Monday and Thursday time frame, but again, nothing plowable at this point, so that's a good news. So let's go ahead and take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting out our period on Friday, pretty chilly out there. You're going to have to bundle up. Temperatures only in the low 30s, but into sunny skies. But might be a little bit of a breeze, and it's going to feel like the middle of winter out there. Again, as we get into the Saturday time frame to start out your weekend, we're going to have maybe a messy light mix of some mixed snow and rain early on Saturday morning, followed by some maybe moderate, maybe briefly heavy rain going into Saturday. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. But again, doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any big-time snowfalls out of this one, so that's great news. Behind that system, on Sunday, look at this. The sun's going to come out. Temperature's going to boost way up into the mid-40s. It may even
get up into the upper 40s. So keep an eye on that. That's really some great weather for out there that'll hope to get our snowpack down a little bit further. Now, as we unfortunately go into the Monday timeframe, looks like another weak system's going to be crossing our area, bringing us some light snow and rain mix here. And then, of course, that's going to usher in some much chillier air as we go into Tuesday with highs only in the low 30s again, but rebounding a bit as we head into Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures up into the mid to upper 30s again, with that slight chance of maybe a light mix of rain and snow again on Thursday. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Jolie Atwood, and this is your community calendar. Happy birthday! The Girl Scouts are celebrating their 109th birthday this year. To commemorate it, you can make your own birthday box. Accessories includes cake mix, frosting, candles, and other birthday-related accessories. Kits will be donated to People Helping People. You can drop them off on March 7th only from 1 to 3 p.m. at 5 Manning Street. For any additional questions, email Linda McNamee at lmcnamee426@gmail.com. Support the BHS class of 2021. On Tuesday, March 2nd, between 4 and 8 p.m., the Adopt a Class is having a fundraiser at Chipotle Mexican Grill at 110 Mall Road. To print out the flyer, go to bcattv.org/event/BHS School Spirit. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Girl Scouts aren't the only one with a birthday. Also on Tuesday, March 2nd at 6:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday with stories and fun. The event will be streamed on the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/burlps. I'm Jolie Atwood, and that was your community calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photos give us a peek of what happens in nature after the sun goes down. They were sent in by Bruce Foster and show some nocturnal shots taken with his game camera. One features a coyote, always a Burlington favorite. The other shows two squirrels in what Bruce calls the dance. Thanks for the photo, Bruce. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your holiday activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments, whatever you think is interesting and want to share with us and the community. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Robert Parris, Jolie Atwood, Peter Brown, and Liz Gillespie. Thank you for joining us.